This is a Looney Studios podcast. Hello and welcome to Aerde Talks. I'm Hunter Looney, the Game Master, and this show is here to dive deeper into the world of Aerde, which is traversed in Aerde Tales. Today we'll be discussing the genus of Akvos, which includes merfolk, sirens, platypi, and lutras. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about the episode that just came out. I really enjoyed making a home for Gamore and her team. I used specific pieces and tokens and whatnot made by 2 Minute Tabletop to put together this house, this 2-story house for them, and I enjoyed putting all the little pieces, making the different rooms and stuff. And when you hear Leah, who plays Gamore, when you hear her be kind of in shock when she's talking to Shay about like how big this place is and stuff like that, she didn't know what to expect at all. I didn't show them beforehand so that I could get their real reactions to it. And Noah didn't have a lot to say about it, but he afterwards enjoyed it and talked about it a little more. And they also were so excited when both of their familiars or animals had magical powers, and it was just I know it's an audio format and stuff, but their reactions and them talking afterwards, it was really nice. And I was glad to have these type of episodes in between missions and stuff of them where they get to have a little downtime, see some other stuff, and then try to do enjoyable things with them. I also am looking forward to you all hearing them go to this mansion and clear it out. It was a fun experience to do. So let's get into the species that we're going to talk today. The Akvos are the aquatic sentient species in Aerde. They either can live fully in the water, or they spend a good deal of their time in the water, or they could. So the first one we're going to talk about is the lutras, which are a bipedal otter person. And so their average height is about 3'1", and their average lifespan is 60. They're mainly piscivores, which means they eat fish, but they are also omnivores. Their main diet consists of fish, though. Interestingly enough, they also have 2 eyelids. One just like normal species like humans and stuff like that have 2 eyelids like that. But then they also have an inner eyelid that allows them to see underwater. And they're very at home in the water. They can move around pretty well. And they all the Akvos give birth via live birth. So merfolk are individuals. They have 2 legs. They don't have the bottom half of a fish. The merfolk in this world are, think of humans, but that have some scales, not completely covered in scales, and are more adapted for underwater. They have gills, but they also have lungs, so they can live on land. They can live underwater. They could spend their entire lives underwater. They're adapted to swim better. They're also a little bit bigger than humans on average. Their average height is 6'4", and they live a little bit longer because their average lifespan is 125. And much like lutras, they're mainly piscivores, which once again is fish, but they are also omnivores. They also have the 2 eyelids thing to see underwater. They can see underwater really well. And once again, they have 2 legs, and So then that brings us to platypi, which are huge platypus people, standing on two legs again, but they have like the tail like a platypus does. They have the beaks and everything like this, but these are very muscular, standing upright platypus people. And their average height is 6'6". Their average lifespan is 75 years. And once again, piscivores, but also omnivores. They have the ability to see underwater as well. And much like these Akvos, though, give birth via egg. So, alright, lastly is Sirens, which these individuals in Aerde are much like what some people call mermaids on Earth, where their bottom half is a fish or something like a fish, and then their top half is vaguely humanoid and stuff. So these individuals average height is about 5 foot, so that's from the end of their tail to the top of their head. Their average lifespan is about 50 years old. But the Sirens, are carnivores, but they also do anthropophagy, which means they eat people flesh. So these will eat merfolk, humans, other sentient species, or they'll eat animals that live underwater, like fish and stuff like that. They also can see really well underwater. They are really fast, and they just have gills, so they cannot live on land without magical means. So those are the known aquatic species in the world of Aerde right now. Others could be discovered at one point in time, but that's the ones that are currently known. And that brings us to the end of the episode of Aerde Talks. In the next episode of Aerde Talks, we'll dive deeper into the sentient species of Aerde, specifically the genus of equinoids, which include centaurs, fauns, manticores, minotaurs, sphinx, and tikbalangs. So have a wonderful day. Alright, let's get to some housekeeping. Our adventurers encounter magical items, and I'd like to invite everyone to participate with adding magical items for us on patreon.com/Looney Studios. There's a link in the description, and on that front page it has a link to a Google form where anybody can submit a magical item. You can do that anonymously. You don't have to be a patron to the Patreon. And please add to that list. I love seeing what people come up with. There's some interesting items that have been added to there by individuals. And speaking of our Patreon, while you're there, you can check it out and see if it's something that might be interesting to you. And I also thank our patrons now. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for supporting Looney Studios and Aerde Tales. Looney Studios can be found at looneystudios.com and at the social media platforms listed in the description. Please give a review on your favorite podcasting site, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, and submit magical items on our Patreon. The Looney family hopes that you have a wonderful day. That was a Looney Studios podcast.